morning to Denise, and thank you for the promos all over Elephant Journal. That was awesome, in your debt as usual. But
very much a Reboundog 0.2 going into 0.3 with Barry production.
Technology. So we've demonstrated over the last 3 years in Ireland that effectively we can bring the education to the young person using this technology, and I think that would extend very much to projects like Huron's, where this very important message can be brought to a global immersive audience.
I have there's a woman in Florida, Kieran, who is I need to introduce you to her, because she basically has said that she wants her life, she thinks that the solution is education and humane education, getting the kids when they're young and then just keep taking them through and growing it. And I'm like, well, let's don't reinvent the wheel. I know the guy who's already going down that road.
The strange thing about rescue shelters is they owe their existence to an Irishman and an Englishman. And this goes back to about the beginning of the 1800s. Model and the rescue shelter model, just from a business operations point of view, is the worst of all possible worlds. And the church model is basically dependent on three things. It's dependent on goodwill, it's dependent on financial donations, and it's also dependent on volunteers to do the work. So if you look at any rescue shelter around, you'll see that structure in action. And the difficulty with that structure is, if you're dependent on goodwill, it basically means you lose your decision-making control. Your decision-making process is at the hands of others. If you're dependent on donations, it's the most expensive form of finance because you never know what you're going to have to do to get it. And if you're dependent on voluntary labour, it's also the most expensive type of labour.
Because one, animals are property, and therefore they are treated as property here in the States. Animal is viewed how they are looked at here. They're in the eyes of the law, they're property, which means you can get rid of them anytime you want, and you can get a new one, and there's nothing that stops people from doing that. And so the ease of getting rid of an animal, open your door, and then the ease of getting one, which is go to your pet store or your shelter or go to your neighbor. I mean, the other problem, or other challenge, to what you said as far as the puppy mills, in terms of controlling the influx, the supply of animals that are desired. And what we're trying to do in the current structure is we're trying to change the supply model. We're trying to change what people want. And I think that's a very difficult, if not impossible, thing.
But if we're going to be partners and we're going to be a team when they adopt the dog, it has to be more of a partnership and not Big Brother. And that's what I hear from clients who go to rescues and want to get a dog. They go, I don't want somebody, bothering me all the time. And even breeders say if they call too much, the people stop answering the phone. So it's a delicate balance, this working partnership.
Backyard breeding is certainly an issue. Some of the rescues I work directly with have, taking on, pregnant mothers, and it's just, we're in this vicious cycle, and I don't think we can rescue our way out of it, to be quite honest.
In our socio-political environment, people are really interested in seeing more joy and health and opportunities for the disenfranchised, the disempowered, and rescue dogs, shelter dogs, homeless animals are right up there with them to help them live the lives they were given, with the assistance of talented professionals like Billy Groom, who gets into the canine psychology, and some other trainer types who are addressing cognitive behaviors. So I feel, me personally, that's my contribution, and I feel like that's where the work is. And there's so many pieces. So I appreciate the learning and the words that, the experience from Tom and Sierra. And thank you again to Spencer for putting this all together. You're so brilliant. Thank you.